such a unique niche? Well, we messed up. So we had about 100 people knocking at our doors throughout the presentation. This was the first promo that went out ever since the client increased the price by about 500 euro. You will normally rarely get 3 to 4% of your list to opt in. The email list was and is a bit more than 7,000 people strong. And that's a pretty low number of people to be generating almost 60,000.
Very much so, yeah. So today we're going to be talking about how we made this client $59,558 in 15 days with this funnel.
We don't offer discounts. We offer special deals. That's a really, really, really good conversion rate.
It's about $67,000.
I am pretty sure we would be able to double or triple the result. That's what sells the product.
Hello and welcome to the Art of Selling Online Courses. We're here to share winning strategies and secret hacks from top performers in the online course industry. My name's John Ainsworth and today's guest is Josip Belina. Now, Josip and I have worked together for about 8 years, something like that. I don't know, I lose track a little bit now.
It's going to be 9.
No, can't be 9. Oh my God. He is an absolute genius with this stuff. He's in charge overall of the funnels for all of our clients. He does incredible work. He manages a whole team who help people to make, I think we figured out the other day, over $50 million in revenue in the last, over the course of the run in the business. So today we're going to be talking about how we made this client $59,558 in 15 days with this funnel. Josip, welcome to the show.
Happy to be here.
All right, talk us through what's the structure of the funnel? How did this work?
It's a webinar funnel, but a paid webinar funnel. We can call that the front end, and then on the back of that, at the end of the webinar, we focused on an email promotion, selling the product. That wasn't really pitched throughout the webinar. I mean, the webinar was more of a teach and pitch style, but the pitch was like 5 minutes. So the client isn't that happy about hard selling or selling generally to people live. So what we do is we shift the strategy a bit just to make sure that people attend the webinar. And on the back of that, we do an email promotion that's then now helped with a more personalized touch point in form of that webinar. And that's what sells the product.
Great. All right, cool. So where should we start in terms of taking people through this?
Yeah, let's start with the prep for the webinar itself. Right. We used our standard strategy for paid webinars. We sent 5 emails over a period of 5 days, inviting people to register for that webinar. Now, in order for that to be possible, what you need to do is you need to create a webinar landing page. Now, the client did that before working with us, and he had only a checkout page available. So there was no sales page, there was nothing really fancy about it, just a way for people to opt in. We built a proper sales page, we built a proper checkout page, we introduced an order bump. Now, an order bump is a small product. In our case, it was priced 4 times higher than the actual webinar that's available at checkout. So we built all of that, the standard infrastructure for a webinar, and then we started email promotion towards the list, and we started social media campaign. Every day we would repurpose some of the email content to get people to also go to our sales page and register for that webinar.
And how much was the webinar?
27 euro.
Okay, so that's why the order bump could be more expensive than that. Because at 97, it's still cheap. It's still like a spur of the moment kind of decision about whether to sign up for it. Okay, cool. What numbers can we share with people in terms of like how many emails went out and how many people did the emails go out to and how many people registered, anything like that?
We can share, I think, more or less all of those numbers. So the email list was and is around 7,000, a bit more than 7,000 people strong.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a pretty low number of people to be generating almost 60,000.
Very much so, yeah.
And in dollars, it's even more. That's, $70-ish thousand or so, I guess.
This was euros, was it?
That's euros.
Okay.
Now, with that, we were getting a lot of people to opt in. So we had 238 people that actually opted in to watch that webinar. That's a really, really, really good conversion rate. Normally, you will not get close to that on a 7,200 people person email list, right? So that's a conversion rate of 3.3%. 3.3% of that list ended up converting.
And why is that? How come that's so high?
Because of the niche where the client is in, it's a niche where he doesn't really get a lot of competitors, and it's a high paying market. People who want to learn about that, and we can say what it is, it's the vet dentistry. And there isn't that many vet dentists out there who teach this stuff. So you can allow to charge $3,000-$4,000 for products that are really, really good. But
Well,
still,
not yeah. There's not that many vet dentists who are like doing internet marketing. That's different, isn't it? That is very niche. Okay, cool. So there's not that much competition. People are kind of quite desperate for this thing. It's not a massive audience, but converts great in terms of opt-ins. So how many opt-ins was it again?
238.
Okay, cool. Great. So this many people have opted in. We've had these 5 emails go out. Can you give people a little bit of an idea of like what kind of things are covered in those 5 emails? We won't have enough time to go into detail, but like just how are we promoting the webinar?
The first email generally is an announcement email, the one that you would use for announcing pretty much anything that's going to be happening live over the next X amount of time. The second one is generally a sales pitch for the actual event and what the benefits and the features of that event are. And then you circle through that for the next 2 or 3 emails. The last email or the last 2 emails, our plan was to send 5. On the last day, we ended up sending one more, so we sent 6. That's a going on style. The last 24 hours are generally focused on the urgency and scarcity. So you have a countdown timer on the website and in the emails, and you focus on the fact that the time is running out.
Got it. All right, cool. So we've had these people register for the webinar. What's next? What's the next step that happens?
The next step is a follow-up towards people that have done so, that have registered. So we had 3 follow-up emails. One would be a confirmation email, and then that's separate, basically. So we would have a confirmation email and then 3 follow-up emails 24 hours, 1 hour, and 15 minutes before the webinar took place to get people to attend.
Just to remind people that it's happening and get them along. Is there anything clever in there? Is it just saying, don't forget the webinar's in 24 hours, or is it more detailed than that?
It can be more detailed, but we opted in for a simple strategy of just reminding people. Because it's so niched and people wanted to learn from it, plus it's paid, the attendance rate is going to be generally higher than 75% anyway.
Okay, nice. And so how much time did it take to prep for the webinar? Was that something that he's already used to teaching, or was this take a lot of work to build out the webinar? How'd this go?
So the client is already familiar with the topic and he presented it on a couple occasions prior to this. However, the only change was us helping him with the pitch. Mm-hmm. And it was a very soft pitch, 5 to 10 minutes, depending on the version that he wanted to do, with a very soft call to action button followed by a Q&A with a final pitch at the end.
Gotcha. Then how many people bought straight away? How'd that kind of go?
Unfortunately, no one.
Okay, so soft pitch and then no one bought straight away. Okay.
Soft pitch and no one bought straight away, and the reason for that was probably because the client didn't really want to push people to do the action right there and then. At the end of that process, 16 people bought out of 100 people who attended. Now, why 100 people? And I said that there was 238 registrants. Well, we messed up. We did not upgrade the Zoom room to accommodate almost 250 people. So it was capped at 100. So we had about 100 people knocking at our doors throughout the presentation. And in order to offset that, we did another webinar a week after. And after all of that, we got 16 sales.
Got it. Okay, cool. How many of the sales came from the webinars? I know you said nobody straight away. Did many come from the second webinar, or was it all from the email follow-up? Or like, how did that all kind of go?
Everything came from the email follow-up. And we used our standard approach for email promotions. So gain logic fee or FAQ future-proof, followed by going, gone, to focus on the urgency and scarcity.
And was that just going out to the 230 people, or was that going out to the whole list?
That was only to the 238 people.
Interesting. Got it. And why is that? Why not run the promo to the whole list?
Because we focused on the webinar replay as well. And since it was paid, we didn't want people to get the option to see that for free. Mm-hmm. And offering both things at the same time might be too confusing.
Got it. Okay, that makes sense. Oh, we've got 5 emails that go out. pointing people to a landing page. The landing page has got an order bump. How much money came in from just the paid webinar then? It was 238 people for $37 or $27 or something like that. You said, right?
27, let's say about 7,500.
Okay, cool. And then the other 52,000 is from, or there's a little bit from the order bump, and then the other 52,000 is from the main product. So okay, so that must have been quite expensive then. How much was that?
€3,000.
Got it. Okay.
And this was the first promo that went out ever since the client increased the price by about €500. So we don't offer discounts, we offer special deals. And in this instance, there was a physical kit for vet dentistry that the client introduced as a thing that people can get. That's valued at around €500. And yeah, people liked that idea quite a bit.
Now, normally, so this wasn't with sales calls or personal follow-up or anything like that. People just buying direct. Normally, we might say to people, you can't go above like maybe $1,500 or $2,000 as a price point for selling without a sales call, just from the webinar. It sounds like this niche is a little bit different. First of all, would you say that's still fair? Like for most people, if they're selling stuff via webinar, is that like fair as a maximum price point?
Absolutely. Especially without sales calls, it's almost impossible these days. Now, the reason why it's possible here is because it's such a unique niche.
Mm-hmm.
If you are in a niche market where you don't get that much competition, and you actually provide a lot of value and people like you, like what you do, like what you tell them, if you share free content with them, and that free content is good, you are going to get a certain number of people, if they have money, that they're going to buy from you. Because this is a niche where people spend €5,000 to travel from one part of Europe to another part of Europe, to learn from someone in person for 3 days. They also have to plan the trip, pay for accommodation, so they are no strangers to spending money on career advancement. This, because it's unique, you can allow yourself to do that. Now, what that means for potential results, at this stage, the client doesn't want to do a lot of the calls or sell by chat at all. But if we were to do that, I am pretty sure we would be able to double or triple the results the next time we do something similar like that.
Oh, if you added in sales calls and sell by chat.
Yes. So if we were to reach out to all 238 registrants, or if we focused on attendees alone, let's say there is 1,800, there is 180 attendees. If we reached out to them individually, personally, via Loom video or outreach or any sort of sales outreach, I am pretty sure we would be able to double the result.
Interesting. And is he interested in that, or is that like, no, that's too much like hard work, or what's the balance for him?
For now, maybe a bit too much, but long term we might do it for him.
Interesting. Okay, cool. So let's say somebody wants to duplicate this. What kind of people would and what kind of email list size and what kind of price products would it make sense for different people to duplicate this model, and who shouldn't be doing this?
So if you are in a B2C market offering inexpensive products, this is not for you.
What if you were in B2C offering something inexpensive, but you had a premium offer that you wanted to upsell people? Like, I don't know, maybe there's a package that includes coaching, or there's a bundle of all of your stuff together. Could that work?
Yes. But in my experience, people that are offering stuff for maybe up to $100, $150 tend to take a lot of time to prep a product like that. So that's probably not the first thing someone in that position would do. However, if you already have something, then definitely, yes, this would work.
Okay, cool. So if you've got a premium product that you've already got that, and it needs a bit more selling than you can do through just email and a sales page, then having a paid webinar in there as well could make sense and could be a good fit. Is that fair?
Absolutely. I generally suggest, if not a webinar, then a live on social media. That increases the results.
Yeah.
Especially during announcement or close-out stages of a promo.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. Who else would it be a good fit for? You mentioned that's inexpensive B2C, so who's the other ones you're thinking about?
If you have a niche market, definitely that would be one of my first priorities to have in place.
Mm-hmm.
A webinar. If you can be in front of a niche audience that already likes you and looks at you as sort of an authority figure in the space, whatever that space might be, whether it's digital marketing or vet dentistry or carpentry, if you have the authority, being in front of people, allowing them to interact with you and ask you questions goes a long way.
Okay. Then, so niche market, there's definitely a plus to it. There's definitely a possibility if you have a more premium product rather than trying to sell just something cheaper, then this potentially is a big fit. Email list size, is that a consideration? This guy only had 7,000, you said, as the whole email list, which is fascinating, right? But I guess other times that might be a factor as to how big the email list is.
Yes, definitely. You will normally rarely get 3 to 4% of your list to opt in, and this was a paid webinar. So if you're doing a free or a paid webinar, aim at getting 0.5% to maybe 1% of that list to sign up. I generally say if you can get 30 people to register and 10 people to attend, it's worth doing, because if it's such a niche market and you are smaller, those 5 sales that you can make off of that generally help quite a bit in your flow.
Yeah, I think it's like a kind of balance, isn't it, between a few things, because it's more work to do the webinar, but it's providing loads of value. If you're doing a pay, you have to look at, well, how many people you're going to have register for it. It's going to feel depressing if you have like 4 people register and like 1 attend and they drop out partway through. Like that might be, oh god, is that worth it? But then maybe if you're doing it as a something for free that you're going to share with more people. So there's a bit of a balancing act there between a couple of things. But I'm a massive fan of doing webinars. Like they hugely increase the engagement that you have with the audience when someone's spending an hour listening to you. Like how much time do people spend reading your emails? Like, I don't know, 2 or 3 minutes, then they move on to the next one if you're lucky, right? Whereas with a webinar, you've got someone's attention for an hour to like take them through stuff, explain things, get their trust, show your authority, and then actually have them paying attention to your pitch as well at the end of it. Okay. So if somebody is like, yeah, I'm on board, I want to do this, I think this seems like a good fit, what would be like the next step for them? Is there other resources we should be pointing them to that we've got, or like any other podcast episodes, or where should someone get started with this?
We have a lot of blog posts about webinars.
Okay.
We have at least 3 or 4 blog posts about webinars we've pushed over the last couple of years. So that's definitely a go-to place. And then, there are a lot of models that you can base your webinar on. Joel Irway or Russell Brunson or Amy Porterfield and a lot of other people. I suggest a simple teach and pitch. Teach them a concept. You're already a course creator. You're already a teacher. Teach them a concept that you're familiar with. And then the pitch doesn't have to be perfect. Just tell them that there is an offer at the back of this. It's not going to be perfect. You're not going to maximize your conversions, but you're going to get into the mindset of okay, it is okay for me to spend an hour talking about a concept and then pitching something. A lot of people struggle with that selling bit. So that eases you into the idea of, okay, I can sell shit.
Mm-hmm.
That's where you start.
Nice. Okay, cool. Yeah, we have got quite a few. I'm looking through the blog now, and there actually is quite a lot about webinars. We've got one called 5 Tips to Promote Webinar and Increase Attendance, 12 Webinar Metrics to Measure and Improve Your ROI, how to write a webinar script and webinar outline template. That's probably too complex for this, isn't it? Because we just want the teach and pitch webinar, which is teach a topic you already know rather than having to have the full perfect webinar system. The best time for webinars, and then I think there's probably some others as well. So if you go to datadrivenmarketing.co/blogs, then you're going to be able to search through there and find all of that info about webinars. So that's cool. Okay, is that it? Is that the next step for people to take if they think sounds like a good fit for them?
I think so. You can always email us.
Yeah.
At datadrivenmarketing.
Yeah, I tell you what, actually, if you email me, if you want like a funnel map of everything that we've just laid out for you with links to different resources from in that, just drop me an email, john@datadrivenmarketing.co, or you could message Josip. Josip is JOSIP at datadrivenmarketing.co and ask us for that, and we'll put that together and send that over to you. And so that would be like a funnel map showing each of the steps that we've just gone through, describing it, and then linking to different resources that we've got that will help you with those different, setting up those different steps. And if you just want help with it, if you're like, oh, no, that's still too complicated, can you guys just help me with this more directly? then that's what we're here for. Just drop us an email and we'll be happy to talk to you about how we can kind of coach you through it and give you resources in our paid program as well. All right, cool. Anything else we need to leave people with on this one?
And that should be it.
Sweet. All right. Thank you very much, Josip, for coming on. Appreciate you saying your wisdom. This is an awesome case study. I absolutely love this. And I loved as well that I found out partway through that we actually made them an extra 20% more than I thought we had done. Because that's in euros rather than, I'm just doing that in USD. It's about $67,000. If you enjoyed the episode and you want to get more like this, then hit subscribe wherever you have been listening or watching. And drop me an email or go check out those other blog posts in order to get those other resources. Thank you very much for listening, and we'll see you next time.